Hey guys. Oh my god, that's like hella loud. Hey guys. Oh my god, wait, that's more loud. Okay, there. I don't know if this is super loud. I can't really tell. Hey guys. Welcome back to the podcast. It's been really long. I haven't uploaded since August, so yeah. I'm back and I'm lesbian. No, I'm just joking. I'm not lesbian. But I just find that funny because that's some of the things I'm going to be talking about today. Also, if you hear animal noises in the back, yeah, it's the animals because I'm recording in my living room because that's where my PC is. But it's okay, guys, because I'm going to try to get this adapter thing that I need to, like, do on my MacBook because, like, when I have guests, I hate having them over at my house because then I have to, like, make sure all my family members are, like, at the house or, like, downstairs or in their room. So it's, like, really annoying. So we could, like, obviously go somewhere and record it. So, oh my gosh, I'm, like, out of breath. But anyways, hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. If you are new, then yeah. If you're not, then yeah. Okay, the first thing, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into this. And so also, happy 2025, guys. It's 2025. A lot has happened, in my life and probably yours. But we'll talk about that another time, maybe. Maybe this podcast, maybe not. Oh my god, I can hear my dog upstairs crying. Anyways, he's like hella loud. But anyways, so my question is for today's podcast is how are you gonna be lesbian but only like men? So now this is a topic where you're gonna need some context. So, you know, I'm not really homophobic, and like one of the biggest things I think I've talked about before on the podcast is I don't really care if you're gay or straight or pans. I don't really care what you are to an extent. Now, if you want to be known as cat, they, them, they're fucking, I don't know. That's a little bit much. But other than that, like, I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're straight. I don't care if you're pan. Like, I don't really care what you are in terms of sexuality. But, like, obviously if you're gonna be like gay and push it down my throat and be like, I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I'm just trying to get through each day without crying. So I don't really care. Like, I really could care less. But now, see, this is where you guys piss me off, is where I see you guys, bitch, you're a part of them. But you piss me off where don't be don't be bisexual, for example. So you like boys and girls. Perfect, fine. And then obviously I know, like, some, like, girls will be bi and they'll have, or whoever, it doesn't matter what side. Like, you can be bi and have a preference for men or have a preference for women. That's perfectly fine. But there's a difference in having a preference and never talking about a woman. Like, there's a difference in, like, I know that, like, some bi people will have, like, one... Like, you can be bi. Let's say they're like, okay, I think I'm bi. Fine. Totally. Great. Congratulations. But then they haven't talked about a girl since 12 BC. What the fuck do you mean? You're bi. And, like, it's different from the fact of, like, you can, like, for example, you can, like, be, like, I think this is, like, a very different thing, but, like, you can be straight and then just, like, for example, not, like, fall in love, but, like, there's definitely some girls out there, especially if, like, more girls than, like, guys, that they'll be, like, straight, like, they're dating a dude, or, like, they dated a dude, but then they have, like, a girl best friend, like, or, like, their best friend, or, like, a girl they met, and, like, they just, like, literally are in love with them, but it's, like, that's just a whole different other subject and mental, like, capacity that, like, that can't even be talked about in, like, less than an hour. So, but the fact that I have is that don't claim to be, like, and I'm like nowadays, like, it's okay to be straight, guys. Like, I really promise you it's okay to be straight. Like, I really promise you, like, it's really okay. Like, we're in 2025. Like, at this point, it's opposite. It's not, oh, it's 2018, it's 2025, it's okay to be gay. No, girl, it's okay to be straight. Because, like, ever since COVID, it's, like, such a trend thing, and I feel like so many people feel like because they find a girl attractive or, like, whatever, that they have to be, like, gay in some sort. And, like, I definitely agree, like, I definitely full believe that you can be fully straight and find girls attractive or pretty. but there's a very different feeling that you have, and like, it's fine if you want, like, for example, if you want to find, like, or if you're, like, trying to find yourself out, and you're like, I don't really know, like, if I, like, only like girls, or only like guys, or, like, I like both, or, like, I'm gonna be pan, or I'm gonna be, like, asexual, or, like, you're finding out, like, all of these different types of sexualities, like, that's probably fine. You either just don't come out, or you just kind of just go on with life. Like, I think one of the biggest things for me is, like, as I've gotten older, I've realized that I don't fuck with labels. Like, I could care less. Like, for me, I don't label myself, like, bi, or, like, pan, or just, like, I'm just, like, do whatever you want. Like, at this point, like, literally do whatever you want. Like, it doesn't really matter, and, like, I think people are really stuck on labels, and, like, I think a lot of people believe that, but, like, even with dating, like, obviously, like, I'm kind of a jealous person, I think. I've gotten more jealous over the years, but, like, especially when it comes to friends, but, like, obviously I'm gonna claim, like, if I'm dating a dude, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you're my boyfriend, but, like, at the same time, like, I don't know, it's just really weird, but, like, I just don't understand, especially girls, like, because usually guys, like, you don't, at least, I haven't really encountered a lot of bi guys, because usually, if they're bi, they have a preference for women, and then they fuck around with men, basically. That's my experience. I don't really know a lot of other bi dudes. It's mostly girls, but it's just, like, if you're gonna be bi, and, like, claim and labely be bi, like, I'm not judging you, like, do whatever you want to do, but it's, like, don't claim to be bi, and say you like girls and boys, and then, like I said, you haven't talked about a girl in, like, a romantic way or anything like that. Like, you strictly, like, when you think of, like, oh, I want to date someone, like, you think of dating men. Like, you never think of dating women. Because there's a difference in, like, being, like, straight and, like, I guess not, like, fucking around with women, but, like, being straight and only like men, but you find, like, girls attractive, and that's, like, fine. Because obviously, like, and, like, especially in, like, college, I feel like you obviously see in the movies and stuff, but, like, a lot of girls will, like, experiment with, like, other girls and stuff like that. So, like, obviously you can come out of that straight, because, like, you can be like, oh, okay, I didn't like that. Like, I just think people, like, which I know it's obviously probably awkward, like, you come out as bi, and then you're like, oh, never mind, let me take that back. Actually, I'm straight, or, like, or, because, I mean, it's harder to do that than I feel like going from, like, bi to lesbian, or, like, pan or lesbian. But then I'm also, like, girl, like, some people, like, and I feel like being bi is, like, the perfect middle ground, or just being unlabeled, like, just doing whatever you want, because I feel like when you're gay for a dude, like, when you are gay, like, you have to, like, be a certain, like, soul, and, like, personality, and, like, look, and, like, not really look, more of, like, a vibe, and I know that probably sounds so stereotypical, but you have to be agreed, because sometimes if I looked at a man and I'm like, oh, he is straight, like, he is, like, very, like, because I'm not saying there can't be mask, like, gay dudes, like, obviously there can, but you can tell they're gay, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's, like, if I look at you, like, I think I have great gaydar, and, like, I'm like, okay, you're gay, you're not. It's the same thing with lesbians, like, it doesn't matter if you're mask or femme, especially when you're mask, obviously, but, like, don't be, like, you have to have a certain look and vibe to you, because there's a difference. I think also people really take the thing of, like, being tomboy versus, like, being mask. Like, just because you're tomboy doesn't mean you're a lesbian. I mean, a lot of the times, yes, but not all the time. Like, it's a lot of just, like, I mean, I get the, like, I don't know, it's just, like, 2025, and I'm like, guys, enough, like, if you're gonna, like, it's really okay to be straight. I swear, I promise you that the gods are not going to come down on you if you are straight. Like, I promise you. I really promise you. And that's something that, like, I also just find it funny, because, like, I think not having a label is also kind of, like, fun in a way, because it's, like, it confuses people, because you're like, okay, yeah, I kind of just don't really care what I do. So, it's just, like, I don't know, that's really been picking at me. It's just, like, so stupid. Like, I don't know, it's because of, like, interactions I've had with someone, so I'm just, like, really questioning it. Oh my gosh, the cat. Where's he go? So, it's just, like, I question that, and I'm just, like, what is going through your head to think Like, because I think a lot of people just, like, genuinely think it's trendy. Like, not trendy, but, like, also trendy. Like, you think it's, like, cool to be bi. Or, like, be a part of that. Like, the LGBTQ. Like, it's fine if you truly are, but it's, like, it's okay if you're not. Like, there is such a thing as, like, being straight, only liking men in, like, a romantic and sexual way, but then finding girls attractive. Or, like, pretty and cute. Like, it's really okay, guys. Like, I promise you, like, if you call a girl cute or attractive in a comment section and you're a girl, I promise you that, like, I'm not going to, like, be, like, calling you the F slur. Like, I promise you. But that brings me up to my next point of, like, attractiveness. So, I was gonna have Farrah on today, but, like, it just didn't work. So, we will have her on, but, because we have a lot of, like, hot takes and stuff. But, so, me and Farrah have this scale that, like, I feel like only us understand, and that sounds such, like, an insider thing, but it's, like, so many people have, like, different types of, oh my gosh, the cars in the back, I was like, what the heck is that sound? But anyways, so, like, I feel like a lot of people have different, like, interpretations of, like, attractive, hot, fine, pretty, like, stuff like that, and so I feel like it's just nice to have one person that can key in on, like, when I mean attractive, that they know exactly what I mean, because I feel like when I'm with friends, I'm like, no, like, they're not cute at all. But there's a very difference between cute and, like, attractive. Like, people don't understand that. So, like, the scale obviously starts at the bottom, which not the bottom, but, like, pretty. So, pretty is, like, you can be a dude, because, anyways, we'll talk about that once we get to attractive. But pretty is, like, you have nice, pretty features. So, like, some dudes are just pretty. Like, they have, like, a nice face, or they have, like, really pretty eyes, or, like, really pretty eyelashes, or pretty, like, hair, or just, like, they dress really nice to make them, like, look pretty. Like, not in a girly way, but it's, like, they just look pretty. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So, it's, like, you, like, most of the time, I'll call dudes pretty if, like, I don't really like them. Like, as a person, or just, like, I don't know them, and I'm like, oh, wow, like, they're not attractive to me, like, I'm not attracted to them, but they are, like, I'm going to recognize that they are pretty, and they have really good features. Now, then you have, like, cute, which is, like, kind of a version of pretty, but it's, like, you find them a little bit attractive, like, to a sense, so it's, like, someone that's cute, it's, like, you don't, like, when I call, well, at least in my sense, when I call someone cute, I'm like, oh, they're cute, but their personality makes a lot up for, like, their looks, because let's be honest, guys, like, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm a 10 out of 10, obviously, but, like, looks are a big part of it, because you would never look at someone ugly and go, wow, oh my gosh, I think they have a great personality, I want to get with them. No, you look at them and go, oh my gosh, you're gorgeous, or you're pretty, or you're hot, or you're fine, or you're attractive, and then you're like, okay, let me go say hi to them. Like, you, like, especially when you're in, like, a, like, I'm not talking about if you're just like, if you're in, like, a, I don't know, a work or something, but, like, you, like, people just say, oh, like, personality matters more. Like, obviously, yeah, it does, because if I see a hot, fine shit, and then I go talk to them, oh, never mind, -2. So, like, obviously, personality does make a lot of it, but you're not going to go up to that person unless they're actually cute. Like, very rare on occasion, unless, like, you guys just get put together for some odd reason, like, you just talk, and then they're like, okay, like, you kind of see it more. But that's, like, how I see cute is, like, you're cute. There's different versions of cute. Like, oh, you're cute. Like, you're not, like, fine. You're not, like, super attractive, but, like, you're cute. Like, I'd hang out with you. Like, I would take another step if your personality was good. Now, then you have, like, hot. And this is just a person who is, like, wow, like, you were just like, whoa, like the, what is it, like, the, in the, comics, or, like, whatever it's called, it's, like, the awooka, like, the big eyes that come out, like, that's what, like, hot is, and it's, like, ooh, you're just, like, yummy, like, you're just so, like, ooh, good, but then, like, which I don't really find many people really hot, ever. I find more people fine, and fine is, like, better, it's, like, hot is, like, oh, what's the word? Like, the outside version of fine. Fine is, like, an inside, like, hot is an outside feeling, you're like, whoo, like, they're hot. And inside, fine is, like, the inside feeling is, like, ooh, they're fine. Like, you feel it in your stomach, like, you feel it, like, butterflies, like, ooh, they're fine. Like, they're fine G. Like, ooh, they're fine, like I need them. So like that there, I don't know if that makes sense, but like that's how I see it in my mind. And then like I think, ooh, it's like getting really loud. The top one I see is attractive, which is like if you were to rank it, I guess. But attractive is so very like people use it a lot in different ways. But for me, the way I see attractive is if I like the way that you, and I don't feel like this is talked about enough, and like obviously I know this is part of your personality, but the way you hold yourself as a person, like the way you dress, the way you just interact with people, the way that you hold yourself is so like important to how people perceive you, and like your body movements, and like how you just look, how you're like everything, like the way that you like people just look like is like you gravitate toward them when you like they're attractive, because one, they're automatically like a mix of fun or cute or pretty, so they're like they have really good features, you find them personally attractive, like you think like personally attractive, and you have some romantic like connection, like you want to feel that. But then it's like the way they hold themselves is such a big part of attractiveness, because like I can see some, that's why like there's a different things, like you are fine. Now fine does have some of personality, but usually fine is the internal version of hot when you see someone. So like if you're seeing someone on the red carpet, you don't know who they are, like wow, they're really, or like you're in the mall, wow, they're really fine, but you have no idea who this person is. You can't get a grasp on how they hold themselves, how they dress, how they act, how they talk to people. So, but attractiveness is something, but because it's like, it comes like this. So for like, when I think of attractive, it's like, okay, I see you, you're like fine, or you're hot, or whatever. And I'm like, okay, then I see how you hold yourself. Now, are you walking with friends? Are you by yourself in a coffee shop? How do you dress? How is your hair? How do you wear glasses? Like, how are you holding yourself? Are you slouching? Are you like when you get in your car, how do you get in your car? What do you do first? How do you hold your phone? Like how do you hold your stuff? How do you pack? Like stuff like that. And it's like so minuscule, and like because the more I've gotten older, I love to people watch, and I love to analyze people, and like ooh, like this is exactly why they do certain things, and because it distracts me from like my life. So like I just love doing that. But it's like so interesting to see that, and then it's like after that fact you see them, you're like okay, wow, and then you get to know their personality from when you talk to them, and then that's where obviously like you check that box and you're like yes, or like like no, their personality sucks. So that's my ranking. I think a lot of like in today's age there's so many different words and like so many different like feelings of how people feel. Like my friends definitely describe people a lot differently, but and I also just thinks that it, like, thinks that, oh my god, I think it depends on, like, your type, I guess, per se. Which brings me to my next point. So, like, let's talk about types. So, like, when I was younger, when people would say, like, oh, what's your type? Not when I was younger, okay, I'm 17. But, like, a few years ago, like, in middle school, like, oh, what's your type? When people ask you that, I think people immediately click to, like, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, black, light skin, dark skin, whatever. But it's like, for me, once I've gotten older, like, I don't have a type. Like, I don't go, oh, like, obviously, do I have a preference of people that I find more attractive and I've talked to more? Yes, 100%. But I don't have a type. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, like, my type is white men, and, like, I don't really go out of that. Like, for me, it's like, if you're attractive, you're attractive, like point blank period. So like for me it doesn't really matter for race. Now I think I've talked about this before. I think because growing up where I grew up in Harrisonburg, with a lot of my like almost like 99% of Harrisonburg being my family and them being black, I haven't really had the experience to be able to like find a black dude like attractive that isn't like my family, and like want to like talk to him, or like have talked to him and like pursue something more. So it's like I haven't really hit that area of like black people yet. And I think that's why I like pertain a lot more to white people, is because I think it's also the not opposite of me, because I am white, but it's like I'm like it's a little bit different. So I definitely, that's something I do want to like explore in college, is like finding. But I think honestly, like, I just personally, I don't know if it's just because I'm black and like I want to find someone that's kind of different than me. I just have never really been really attractive to people that are black. Like, I don't know, African American. Like, I just never really find myself, like, even online, like seeing TikToks, like I don't really find myself people that are like I mostly find myself attractive to white people a lot, or like, oh, Asians. I really like Asians. But like, I think it's just like, for me, my type is like, if I were to line up, like if I were to like pull up 5 TikTok videos or like 5 dudes off Instagram and go, hey, like these are the people I find like cute or attractive or like whatever, and give them to you, and like you looked at their Instagram or just like looked at like their TikTok or whatever they're posting, a video they had, you would be like, okay, that's your type, but you, like, it's a vibe. Like, for me, especially like my friends, like I've talked to my friend about this a lot, and it's like, you can't like pinpoint a lot. Like, obviously people have types where it's like people who just have like long hair, or people that have glasses, like obviously like, oh, you like repeatedly every time like this person that has like these features. But for me, it's like, I've been told that it's a vibe. Like, it's a vibe, and like I just don't know what to pinpoint what that vibe is. But it's just like, it's just so crazy. But speaking of, I was talking to my friend about this. I really have to say this. I feel like I've talked about it on other podcasts. I feel like I repeat myself a lot, but like I don't really care. Um, okay, so let's just talk about dudes, cause like whatever. So I think that there is like, obviously dudes like have their own whatever persona, but it's like there are certain things that um men do, or like whatever, that immediately give them points on my scale. So like, obviously you're gonna be like, oh, the person like a 6 out of 10, like yada yada yada, which I know rating people isn't good, but like it's 25. I don't really care anymore. The world is basically, I don't really care. So I think one of my top things, or like when I like, if I were to rank them like from bottom to top, so like, oop, not bottom to top, from lowest points to highest points, is, lowest is, I think it's something that's, you can find very common nowadays, because a lot of people speak a lot of languages, especially in like America, because obviously it's the melting pot of the world. But is, if you speak a different language, doesn't matter what it is, I find that gives you like a good extra 1 or 2 points depending on like what language you're speaking. And it's like, it's just so attractive. Like, if you are like even when some of my friends are like able to speak like a different language, especially like Spanish or like stuff like that, like it's just so attractive, and I don't know why, and I feel like a lot of girls agree with this. But it's just like something that I've always found really attractive, and I think it's just because like I've never been able to really speak a second language fluently enough, and I think it's just like, it's also really cool because like I really do hope that I date someone that has like more culture than I really do, because I don't have a lot of culture or like background, I guess. And so it's like, I just like love to learn about this stuff, and just like really interesting to me. So like, but I find that really attractive. Like, I think having someone who can speak a different language or speaks a different language, like when they're calling your mom and they're speaking a different language, like that's just really like, attractive. Like, I don't know why. Another thing is like, I know this is gonna sound so stupid, but like dudes, so like obviously, you know, like the whole like stereotypes, like dudes don't cry, like they have to be tough boys and yada yada yada. But I like, especially with like my dude friends, I guess, like, or just like dudes in general, like I love dudes that are like kind of like, I guess not like, not femme, but like, you know, when you like wiggle your hands, be like, oh my gosh, the gossip. Like, I love dudes that like, that are like that, and they love to gossip, and it's just like, but it's also like the dudes that are actually like, they act all tough, like on the outside, they're like, oh no no no, like, oh, they're dude friends, but then it's like when you talk to them one on one, it's like they're literally spilling out your feelings, which I know is like almost every dude, but it's just like, there's definitely some dudes that don't do that, and it's definitely like, no, but it's like specifically dudes who do it like very like you can tell that they don't do it with anyone else. Like, they don't tell their mom about it, they don't tell their brother, they don't tell their sister, like, and they just tell you, and it's, like, spills out, and you're just like, wow. Especially, like, dudes who, like, go through, like, I've definitely met dudes and, like, talked to dudes who, like, hearing their backstories and, like, stuff they've went through, and, like, the fact that they're able to, like, get up and just, like, be such a, like, happy person every day is, like, insane to me. And, like, it's insane of how, like, society has put the pressure and, like, the stereotypical, like, idea that men have to be, like, obviously not, like, as much anymore, but still it exists. And, like, the fact that they have to, like, keep their emotions away. And, like, I think even to this day, though, because those, like, society norms are, like, still put on us, like, sometimes I will be like, oh, okay, okay, like, whatever. But it's, like, it really does matter, especially talking to a lot of my friends. Like, their dudes and, like, boys and just men's mental health is so much different from women's, just because of, like, the stuff that they perceive. And, like, obviously I think that women do have it harder, I think, and I believe that. And to the day I die, I'll believe that. But men also have such unique positions that they're put in, especially at a teenager age. And it's like, they have so many questions about stuff that, like, that would set me back. Like, one of the questions is, oh, like, when they're short, and, like, a lot of girls like dudes that are tall for, like, dominance, or just, like, feeling, like, safety, like, because they're taller than you, and, like, you just feel safe if there's someone, like, quote-unquote bigger than you because they're taller than you. But it's just, like, so hard explaining that to a dude, and they're, like, not tall-ish. Like, they're tall, but, like, I feel like nowadays a lot of girls are a lot taller than what they, like, really are, especially coming from someone that's taller. Like, I definitely think, like, it sucks. Like, I don't think I'd ever want to date a dude that was shorter than me, just for, like, I don't know, just, like, comfort and just, like, being in a relationship. Like, I think it's just nice if you're gonna be in a relationship with a dude, like, having that, like, safety, and, like, I think it's just really nice. But, and then, that's, like, my second thing, but I feel like that's also just something that a lot of dudes have, whether you want to pursue them romantically or not. And, like, I just find that even, like, in dudes, like, that are, like, just friends, like, I think that's such a great component to have, especially dudes that are very, like, I don't want to say mama boys, but, like, they're very written by women. I think that men that are written by women need to be blessed, like, by water, by Jesus, by food, by, and I know it's insane, like, I'm a woman, but, like, the men that I've met, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you were literally written by a woman. Now, I've met some men who are not written by a woman or a man, and they're probably written by the fucking demon, or the devil. So, but, when a dude is written by a woman, it's such a different, like, way they talk, the way they act, the way they treat women, like, and I know that's literally the, like, what is it called? The, like, human decency for a man to treat a woman right, but nowadays, like, it's so hard to find men that, like, see that treating women is, like, as a good thing, and, like, just being, like, kind to them, and not, like, even just, like, making jokes, like, just bullying them day to day, like, genuinely just being nice, and, like, generally, like, some of my friends, like, I know that, like, if they were a dad one day, or, like, if they ever had a wife, or, like, got with a girl, like, I know they would treat her so well that it's not even funny. And it's, like, we need more men in those ways, because when they walk, like, flowers literally grow. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, and, like, I, like, to this day haven't really, like, I really hope that if I do end up, like, getting with a dude, like, in college, or, like, whoever I get with, like, I hope that, like, it's just, like, different with dudes, just, like, when you're written by women, especially because, like, if they have siblings and stuff like that, or, like, they're really close to their mom, or, like, they have a sister, like, that helps a lot. It's just, like, I mean, obviously, like, not all men that have siblings and, like, sisters, like, are written by women, per se, but, like, it's just a different thing, and, like, it needs to be admired more. But, then that's, like, my second thing. I guess, like, you can include that, but, like, my top thing is, so, I've talked about this on the podcast plenty of times, but, like, I don't have children. I think to this day, I don't think I'll have children. I think I will never have children. I just don't see that within my life, and I don't see that as like, I don't see myself becoming a mother for many aspects. And I don't ever really want to be a mother. Now, if for some reason I had to be a mother for whatever reason, like, I would obviously be a mother and I would love my child and like stuff like that, but like, I will prevent to have a child because like, I just don't really want one. And also the way the world is going, like, you don't want a child in this world. But at the same time, another thing that I love, love, love is like a dude that has siblings, especially if he's like the oldest, or like if he's in between, like if he is younger or older siblings, especially if the older siblings are sisters, and they like, they're so overprotective of them, and they just like don't want any harm to them, like genuinely done. And like, obviously they're probably the brother that like bullies them and like yada yada yada, but like at the end of the day, like, if it was between them and their sibling, like, they would probably save their sibling. Like, if they had to live on the street to make sure their sibling, like, had a home and, like, warm food in the bed and, like, stuff like that, like, they would live on the street. And I just think, for me, that also plays in the fact of, like, how they treat women, because you know that they treat women really well. And, like, I know there's human decency, like, oh, like, you shouldn't be looking for that, but, like, it really is such a big factor that, like, I think about when I, like, think about like people, especially people that like treat like animals well and stuff like that. But it's like, it really, like, the way that you treat your siblings and your family members really does play out in like your personality and like how you treat others, and especially how you treat women, especially as you get older into college, and like being like asking questions, and the way that you hold yourself around women, the way that you ask women questions, the way you talk to them, especially in like professional sense, like, people don't realize that, but like, I genuinely like it. I think it does play, and I think it literally plays into a lot of how men grow up. And like I never would like, I don't look for that, but I think it's just very an attractive component of men, is the fact that they're very overprotective. And I think it also shows that, like, because if you were to like pursue them romantically, or like date them, or like talk to them, like, you know that you'd feel safe because you know that they would probably be protective of you. And I think that's something that I've lacked as a child, and I think I've lacked just like in general. Like, I feel like I really like don't have like many people who stick up for me, I feel like. And I feel like because just the way that I grew up and stuff like that, like, it's just very different. And like, even having friends who like, I don't know, I think also for me, one thing that's like very like different about me versus other people is, I think that like, obviously everyone wants attention, and there's difference between like attention whores per se, and just, I mean, people who just like attention. Like, everybody likes attention. Why wouldn't you want attention in the good way that you like it? You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody, you know. But like, I think for me, when it doesn't matter who it is, I think that especially when it comes to dudes, if I like get attention from a dude, and like, I just like, they give me conversation, or they just like hang out with me, or they just genuinely seem like they like me, like, in just like it doesn't matter, romantic or platonic, whatever, just like me as a person, like, I generally take it for not granted, but I take it and run with it, because I feel like as a child I just never had a lot of like male, like, what's the word, like, affection. And like, I kind of got a lot of forced love, I feel like, in my opinion. And so like, even when my friends, like, when my friends genuinely like say that like they like couldn't like live the world without me, and like stuff, like, I mean, all like a lot of friends do that, but like, when I genuinely see my friends and they like have withdrawals of like not being with them, like, it really puts in perspective of me, like, of my life, and like realizing how like important like what you do and like how you are with your friends is like so important. And I think that's something I've had to learn over the years. Like, I don't think that's something that a lot of people just like come to sense with, and I think a lot of people are still learning that, especially like in your like teenage years, and like once you reach 18 to like 25, and like you start, especially I think once you start getting into college, and you like distance yourself from like people and like your friends that you see every day because you have classes with them, and it's not like they're reaching out to you, it's like you realize how important friendships are, and like how important seeking good people are. Because in high school, like, in my opinion, are gonna waste so much time gossiping and like spending time with people who genuinely aren't good people for no reason, but you are because it's high school. But when you get onto the real world, you need to not look for those type of people who have those qualities that are genuinely bad people and they only look out for themselves, and like only a few of the people, they just really are using you. And like obviously that's gonna happen when you get out of like high school and like you get older, and like obviously it's gonna happen like when you get older. It's just, it's life. But like, what if you're not able to look for like, it doesn't matter if it's a dude or a girl, whoever it is, like the factors that I just said, like just like, it's not like you have to like analyze these people, but just being able to like tell and like decide in your head like what factors you look for in like a relationship, and just even in friends in general. Because like once you hit a certain point in your life, especially like it depends on your career, but like people are just so fake nowadays, and like especially in social media, like it's so hard. And like you really just need to like be able to, at least I think you need to be able to realize who's fake and who's not, and what a good person genuinely is. And obviously not everyone's perfect, like I'm not saying that like but like I genuinely think there are some good people and there's not. And I think one thing that kind of will help like separate yourself from like who is your real friends and who is not. And I think like there's a difference in between people who like still care about you, like obviously they don't want you to go die, but it's like, do they care about you enough to reach out first? And like I think I've realized that, especially like over the holidays, is like I think one of the biggest things is like I worry that if I don't text first, or I don't if I don't text them to hang out first, that like we will never hang out. But then I have had to like cope and come over the aspect, and like I'm still trying to, like I think going through a lot of friendships and like just realizing that like there's a difference between like having a friendship and like being friends with this person versus being like just cordial to this person because they didn't do anything wrong to you, but like they're just not a good person, but like you're still going to be around them, like you still need to be nice to them because like they didn't do anything bad to you. But that doesn't mean that like you should treat them like not with respect. And like also the opposite of like people that disrespect you and like treat you in a bad way, but like also being the bigger person and just like not acting that way towards them in certain aspects. But like I think doing that, and like I think I've had so much growth in high school and just in friendships in general, and like talking to so many people about so many aspects of friendships, that I've learned that like if you're texting first every single time, that like that's not a good thing, and like you guys truly are friends. Because if your friendship is not like, it doesn't have to be 50-50. Like I don't believe that every friendship is going to be 50-50, and I think rarely a lot of friendships are 50-50, because I think it just really depends on the friendship. But if your friends aren't texting you first like anytime, and like they're not like the ones, or like they're always the ones that are leaving you on like, oh, I forgot about you, or this, like then they're not a true friend. And like I'm not saying they're a bad person, but that is someone that you may want to leave in the past. And like I think sometimes it's incredibly hard to do that, but at the same time, like I think as you get older, or like just in general, like I think you need to realize that sometimes you have to let people go, because like it really will better you. Like being able to like, it just depends. Like high school is so different. Like I haven't been able to experience like the real world, I guess, per se, like college, and like having like different types of friends, and like it's just very different. And like I know who my cream of the crop is, and I know who I'm gonna talk to, and like I know the people I'm gonna visit when I come back. But it's like learning in high school that like, and going through so many types of friendships and different friendships, and like talking to people, and like going through like guilt, and like apologizing about stuff that like isn't even your fault, and like realizing that you were never in the wrong is like just the first step, and like realizing of like what you need to look for in friends. And like I think honestly I'm so glad about some of the stuff that I've went through like in 2024, and just like in general, especially in 2024, but like in general, because when I started high school, I really think I only started with me and Farah, and like we were just each other's best friends. But like obviously as I went through the year, I'm so glad that like I was able to find my circle, whether they're per se good people or not. It doesn't really matter whether they're fake or not. Like obviously you don't want to be around fake people, because like it's not good. Because I think a lot of it too, because I think that I am a better-ish person. I think I realize a lot more and I'm more self-aware about what I do and how I do it and when I do it and who I tell and yada yada yada. But I definitely think I was a more pure and more, like, down deep good person before I met a lot of my friends in high school. And I think that's also because the people that you're around genuinely, like, if you're mean, like, if you're around people who are just mean to each other as a joke per se, but, like, genuinely, like, that's their literal friendship styles to be mean to each other, it's literally going to, like, go on you. Like, it sounds like a placebo effect, like a doppelganger, but, like, genuinely, like, when you're around of that environment, like, it's gonna happen. It happened to me, like, in high school, and I realized that now. I'm like, I really wish I could, like, break it, and I think I won't be able to break it until, like, really college, because I think no one really cares about anything. But it's like when you're in high school and you're in such a congested place about, like, and the only thing that's interesting in your life is, like, whether or not this person, like, broke up with this person, like, oh my god, like, what they posted on their Instagram, like, oh my god, they didn't text me back, like, oh my god, yada yada yada. Like, when that's the only thing you really have to live for, and, like, those are your people, like, it literally feeds off into you, and literally, like, if you watch a substance, like, it literally, like, you turn into a whole different person, like, dead ass, like, because, like, the gossip, like, I think that's what happened to me a lot, is being around more people too, like, and that's what they did, was gossip a lot. That's what I like to do. And, like, it wasn't even the fact of, like, you want to fit in, but, like, it just, like, literally you start to become a gossiper because you're around them so much that that's all they do, and, like, that's what you're gonna partake when you're with them. And so, like, I think that personally, like I said, I think I've gotten a lot of growth, and I think I've, like, had so much time to, in so many, like, genuine crash outs over, like, friendships and just, like, things in general, that, like, I've been able to realize so much about myself and just, like, friendships in general. But it's, like, it's just so complicated. But yeah, that was a lot of deep talk. But yeah, so I'm gonna close off today's episode because it's, like, 41 minutes, and, like, I really just talked a lot, talked your ear off. But yeah, so if you don't already, follow my Instagram. It's called Mason_S Manifesto. It's, like, super weird, but if you don't already, because I'm gonna post on there to, like, do, like, when I, like, ask questions, like, what questions, like, if I want to have a guest on, like, you can also just see when I post. And then also I post, or my podcast now is on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Podcast, whatever it's called, Amazon streaming, not Apple Music, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube. So, but thank you guys. I was looking at my 2024 Wrapped for, like, on Spotify. They have it, because I go through a different, like, thing than Spotify, but they were just getting my Wrapped, and, like, it was just so cool to see, like, all the people from, like, outside of, like, my group of watching, listening to my podcast, and, like, I think, I don't know how many streams, I'd have to look back, but, like, my top episode was me and Javier's episode, and it got, like, 600 downloads or, like, streams or whatever, which is, like, actually insane. So I just want to thank you guys. So I'll see you guys next episode.